I'm Shotgun Tom Kelly, president of the Pacific Pioneer Broadcasters, Hollywood Media Professionals, and we've been honoring people in the entertainment world since 1966. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our archives, and we're going to show you some of the people that we've honored from the past. Now, here's episode number 2 of the tribute to actress, comedian, writer, singer, producer, LILY Tomlin. Boy, she does a lot. Anyway, today you're going to hear the words of talented actor Bruce Vilanch. Sit back and enjoy.
I couldn't possibly miss this one for Lil because I've known Lily's, well, since time immemorial. I mean, and we've done, since 1970 when I met her in Chicago, we've done 428 benefits together. I wanted to share some of them with you. The first one she got me for was a tea dance for the corpulent children of Grosse Pointe. And then the Orthodox Jewish community of Pineville, Arkansas. It was a very small affair, but we then did their sister charity, the Palestinian Authority of the Catskills. We didn't work well there either. But then there was a triumph, the dinner dance for the oppressed condominium owners of Sherman Oaks. They loved us and bailed us out. And then there was a baby shower for Mothers Against Drunk Breastfeeding. Do you remember that? George Slaughter produced that particular benefit. The special effects were amazing. The picnic for the Goldie Hawn Home for Fried Blondes, you remember that? Because I won their honor that year. And then the best of all was the Jimmy Hoffa Foundation, which turned out not to be a charity at all, but the cement that he is buried in. I wondered about that one myself. Clearly, I made a bad choice. All right, now I want to just talk about Lily for a minute and break down before you. We met in 1970. She was at a club called Mr. Kelly's in Chicago, very hot off of laughing, and I was a journalist, and I interviewed her, and we fell mildly in love, and I became a contributing writer on Team Lily over the years, and we really did do 1,000 benefits, and when I met her, I had an answering service, and the woman was slightly deaf, because that was before voicemail. You had to settle for what you got, and there was a woman in Chicago who had all the show business answering things, but she could never hear anything. And she used to tell me, Billy Hodgkin called. And I finally realized that was code for Lily. And Billy Hodgkin called again. Is he from the country? He sounds a little Kentucky to me. And it went on like that, and I thought, I really got to get rid of this answering service. And then I got a message. She said, Bet Hitler called. And that particular day, it was so close to being accurate. That I just couldn't let her go. But technology, found its way, so I let her go. But what happened after that, not too many years after that, was the AIDS epidemic began. And, those of us who were in the business were affected a lot right away because so many of our friends were taken out. And we decided that we had to do something about it. And so the only thing we could do in show business is to raise money, right? So we threw benefits. We throw things like this to raise money because the government was not going to step up, and nobody wanted to be near the disease. It was a pariah. Nobody would talk about it. And I started calling people saying, I will do your benefit if you will do my benefit. This is how I became acquainted with all the bigger diseases. I know them all. Myasthenia gravis, come to me. Mesothelioma, I've done that one in Detroit. I know all these diseases. So that was how we coaxed people into it. It was a trade-off. Well, one of the very few people who I didn't have to coax in was Lily. Lily came in. She was the first. I mean, Lily, Bet, Joan Rivers, Nell Carter, those were the first people who did AIDS benefits when nobody would do them before it became. And George Slaughter was the first heterosexual man to produce an AIDS benefit. For which he has my inestimable credit and love. And then, of course, Rock Hudson got sick. You know the story. Elizabeth came out and she didn't come out, pardon me. Elizabeth attached herself to the charity and became the single biggest AIDS fundraiser in history. And there would be no AIDS fundraising movement in America without Elizabeth. And the reason, of course, was that Elizabeth was such a giant star, everybody would take her call. I mean, even the Pope would, if just to discuss the jewelry. So that was what put it on the map. But it was Lily who was there at the beginning. And I thought to myself, here we are today in a charity that's devoted to pioneers. And in her own way, in the charity that mattered the most to me, the AIDS cause, Lily was a pioneer. Lily is a pioneer in that area. And it seems so fitting that she was being saluted by an organization that honors pioneers, because she's not old enough to be a television pioneer, but she certainly was at the forefront of the thing that mattered most to me in my life, and I know to a lot of you too. So this is one benefit I couldn't oversleep, I couldn't stay away from. I would have no excuse if I missed, because since 1970, I've just been in love with this person because she is as close to a goddess as you get on the planet. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. I can already feel the excitement building for our next Hollywood Media Professional Celebrity Showcase.